The humidity of Savannah, Georgia, hit Ilara like a physical wall as she stepped out of the air-conditioned rideshare car, a stark and immediate contrast to the crisp, autumnal chill she had left behind in Chicago. The lawyer's letter had been brief, almost cryptic, informing her of her inheritance from a great-aunt she had met only once as a small child. Now, standing on the cracked sidewalk, she stared up at the source of her sudden upheaval, a sprawling Victorian house, its white paint peeling in elegant curls, nestled beneath a canopy of ancient weeping trees draped in ghostly Spanish moss. The key in her hand was heavy, iron, and cold, an artifact that felt out of place in the modern world. As she climbed the creaking steps of the wide wraparound porch, each groan of the wood seemed like a whisper from the past. The city sounds faded away, replaced by the buzzing of insects and the distant chirp of birds. This wasn't just a property. It was a living, breathing entity, and as she slid the key into the stubborn, tarnished lock, she felt with a deep, unshakable certainty that the house had been waiting, not just for any owner, but for her specifically, to awaken its slumbering secrets. The interior was a museum dedicated to a life she knew nothing about, frozen in a thick, dusty silence that smelled of old paper, dried lavender, and polished mahogany. Sunlight streamed through lace curtains, illuminating dust motes, dancing in the air like tiny fairies. She moved slowly through the parlor, her fingers trailing over the back of a velvet settee, a grand piano coated in a fine layer of gray, and shelves crammed with leather-bound books. It was on the marble fireplace mantelpiece that she found the anomaly, a crisp, white, modern envelope standing starkly against the backdrop of aged opulence. Her name, Ilara, was written on the front in an elegant, flowing script she recognized from the few Christmas cards she'd ever received. Her heart hammered against her ribs as she broke the seal. "My dearest Ilara," the letter began, "if you are reading this, then the house has found its new guardian. I spent my youth searching the world for treasure, only to discover that the greatest one of all was the home I left behind. I have hidden it here, in the heart of this place, for you. To find it, you must first find the hummingbird that does not fly." Ilara read the last sentence aloud, her voice a whisper in the quiet room. The hummingbird that doesn't fly. The clue was as mysterious as the aunt who had written it. The following days became a consuming treasure hunt. She scrutinized every inch of the house, looking for a stationary hummingbird. She examined intricate patterns on the wallpaper for a hidden bird, studied the stained glass window on the landing for a perched figure, and sifted through a collection of porcelain figurines on a shelf in the drawing room. She found peacocks, eagles, and sparrows, but no hummingbird. Frustration began to set in on the third afternoon. She decided to clean, hoping the mindless work would spark an idea. As she carefully wiped down the keys and body of the grand piano, her cloth snagged on a slight imperfection on the ornate wooden music stand. Leaning closer, she saw it was an intricate inlay of various birds in flight, swallows, larks, and doves with their wings spread. And there, nestled almost invisibly among them, was a tiny, exquisitely crafted hummingbird, its wings closed, permanently perched on a mother-of-pearl branch. Her breath caught. She pressed it, tried to wiggle it, but it was solid wood. Then, remembering she was at a piano, she looked at the sheet music still open on the stand. The hummingbird was positioned directly over a specific note on the staff. With a trembling finger, she pressed the corresponding ivory key. A single, clear note rang out, and from the wall paneling beside the fireplace there was a distinct, soft click. The hidden compartment, revealed by a panel that swung inward an inch, was small and dark. There were no gold bars or jewel boxes inside. Instead, Ilara pulled out stacks of handwritten manuscripts, bound in soft leather, their pages filled with the same elegant script from the letter. The first one was titled Cairo, City of Sand and Secrets. Another was A Parisian Affair. There were dozens more, chronicling a lifetime of extraordinary adventures across the globe. This was the treasure, not a material object, but a legacy of a life lived fearlessly and passionately, captured in words. Tears welled in Ilara's eyes as she sat on the dusty floor, reading her aunt's account of getting lost in the Tokyo markets until the early hours of the morning. The setting sun cast long, golden beams across the room, but Ilara didn't notice. The silence of the house was no longer empty. It was filled with the echoes of her aunt's stories. In that moment, she knew she wouldn't be selling the house. Her life in Chicago, with its relentless pace and corporate deadlines, felt a million miles away. Her true inheritance was this chance for a new beginning. She would stay in Savannah, she would restore the house, and perhaps she would finally write the stories she had always pushed aside, adding her own chapters to the legacy hidden within these walls.